is the HomeTech Podcast for Friday, July 4th, America! From Sarasota, Florida, I'm Seth Johnson.
USA. From Reynoldsburg, Ohio, I'm TJ Huddleston.
And for the record, we're actually recording this on the 1st, which is Canada Day, where, I'm Gavin Campbell from Pickering, Ontario, Canada.
It's not like the show will release on July 4th anyway, so I'm not really sure why we're putting July 4th in there, but...
Yeah, whatever. It's going to happen. Welcome to the HomeTech Podcast, a podcast all about home technology, home automation, and holidays that I guess we get this week, right? So, Gavin, you're off, this week and Friday? Because,
Oh, no, I'm working Friday. I still have to work Friday. Yeah, I got cover for
you got some of the American holidays off, though.
No.
You just don't get July 4th?
No, we don't. Half my team does. And I just get stuck. It's usually really quiet on those days. When they're not in the office, things get really quiet.
It's because they're Americans.
Oh, that makes sense. Americans break things.
Yep.
And they're loud.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, we've got a bunch of American and Canadian news this week. So what do you guys say we jump in?
Let's do it.
All right. Rogers has announced it's launching Wi-Fi 7 routers for customers in select areas of Calgary. What is it? Alberta, I guess? Yeah, Alberta. I've never seen that abbreviated that way. But anyway, the company will continue to roll out Wi-Fi 7 the rest of Canada later this year. Sounds fun. If you're there in Canada and you want the Wi-Fi 7, they're dropping the routers in that I can actually do it. Now, whether your phone will do it, I guess. What do you have? Is anybody phones doing it these days? Wi-Fi 7?
I think the newer iPhones do it, don't they?
Yeah,
Wi-Fi 7?
Only my iPhone 15 Pro Max does it. None of my other devices do. Like my M2 MacBook Air 15-inch, it does not have Wi-Fi 7.
It's fairly, it's still kind of like a picky, it's fairly unreliable if you're very far away, right? Like it's up close, good to go. But if you're far away, not so great.
Most of my IoT devices don't even use Wi-Fi 6, I don't even think.
Right.
Like I don't know. They're going ahead with these standards. And first I want to point out, good job, picking a Canadian story first, considering where it's Canada Day and all, I'm proud of you there. But, like a lot of these they're not even older devices. I'm still getting new devices. And in the instructions, they specifically say, point out they want the 2.4 network still. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
Why?
That's annoying, especially when it's an expensive device, It's different if you buy something on like AliExpress and it's like, okay, you can only connect this to the 2.4 because we need to steal all your data. And I'm like, that's fine. I get it. But when you buy I don't know, there's certain devices I have around the house that are only 2.4 that were like $400.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way.
But what do they need, honestly? What do they need on like the fast Wi-Fi thing?
The less congestion, that's what they need.
The 2.4, yeah, I guess a little bit, but the 2.4
that's literally the only reason.
Is more reliable and punches through walls for IoT devices, all that stuff. So to me, that's the way to go. If you buy a sensor or whatever for, an expensive sensor or something, and it only does Wi-Fi, was it 4, 3? I don't know. And it only does 2.4, right? It doesn't need to transfer a lot of data fast, right?
Yeah.
My problem with it though is that certain devices are only 2.4, but they can still see the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz.
That's
this idea
stupid
as well. But you still need a separate one. And so maybe it's just like better Wi-Fi chips. I'm sure somebody smarter than me knows. But just put better Wi-Fi chips in your devices. That way, I don't have to create a specific network just for your devices.
Yeah,
I'm
still rolling the 2.4 IoT network, and then I have a slow network that I'm rolling every other client off of. And then if it does the faster, has the Wi-Fi 6 requirements available, then it'll get on the faster network. But mostly that's just my phone, my wife's phone, computers, things that actually need to be on it so they don't get messed up. They don't mess, the IoT stuff doesn't mess that network up. It seems to work out well.
Yeah, and because my house is small, I can get Wi-Fi 6 throughout the whole interior. So it is actually beneficial to me with one access point.
Yeah. Long and short of it is you probably don't need Wi-Fi 7. It's a bigger number, but Wi-Fi 6 is honestly pretty good right now. I think it's pretty solid, right?
Can Rogers even deliver these speeds, Gavin?
Yes, they can, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because Spectrum here, they'll give you a router that has a 2.5 gigabit port, but they do not offer more than a gigabit. So it's nice that they're preparing for the future, but they're giving you equipment that you can't even fully use right now.
Yeah, it depends on where you are. I've seen them offering up to 10 gigabits both ways in some areas. So, you won't use it, but it's there.
Yeah.
It says 4 gigabit down and 1 gigabit up. So
yeah, that's pretty nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go across the border here and see what the USA is doing for Wi-Fi. Senate version of the budget reconciliation bill backed by the president removes protections for unlicensed spectrum that broadens the capacity of the 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi band. This could result in selling off some of the spectrum and slower Wi-Fi speeds. The bill is expected to be voted on this week, and the FCC would sell off some of that spectrum to mobile carriers such as AT&T, which could use it to make money. I mean, let's just say they're just going to charge us for it, right? What was once free is now not anymore. So, I guess USA, go USA.
You got to pay for the tax cut and the deficit somehow. We're adding $5 trillion to the deficit, so gotta figure that out.
How much could this actually be worth? I mean, they'll probably sell it for a few $100,000, and then whoever is the FCC chair will be like, let's see, it's Brendan Carr. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll have a nice cushy job at AT&T whenever the term ends or whatever. All right, well, slow Wi-Fi here, fast Wi-Fi Canada. You already went up, Canada?
I listened to the Verge podcast, and Nilay Patel is always bashing Brendan Carr, and it's pretty great. They have a section at the end of the show. It's called Brendan Carr is a Dummy. And it's great to listen to every week. So that's I feel like we have a couple more years of this.
Yeah, a couple. Well, I could put a link in the show notes. We'll link people out to that if they haven't heard it. Here's a Canadian story. Let's see what Canada's doing with Hikvision. Canada's mandated all Hikvision, a Chinese surveillance technology company, cease its operations within the country, citing national security concerns. So I guess you're joining the fray here. The order requires Hikvision to shut down and cease all local sales by a specified deadline. I didn't see this coming. I know a lot of Canadians who were happy they could still buy the cool, nice Hikvision cameras for a while. And that was a couple of years back when we made basically Hikvision, however you pronounce it. I don't care. And then Dahua made those two illegal, right? Or not illegal, but certain chips that were made by them illegal. TJ, you install a lot of cameras. Do you have a problem getting Hikvision or Dahua cameras here in the U.S.? What can our Canadian friends up north? How can they prepare for this eventual decline of the Hikvision in Canada?
Yeah, we stopped selling them. I used to only sell Hikvision because they were so cheap, and you could buy pretty much anywhere, honestly. And you could buy off manufacturer ones or white label ones, which were always a little sketchy. But I stopped selling them a couple of years ago because the whole NDAA compliance thing.
Yeah,
and I just I never deal with it. But I was like, I might as well just find another brand that is compatible. And that way I don't have to worry about it for future use. So I've mainly switched to Uniview and Ubiquiti. 2 cameras that start with U for some reason, but those are the best brands software wise. So
yeah, I've been happy with both of those brands. Actually, we got a Ubiquiti story come up soon here. So
yeah,
well,
Ubiquiti, just do Ubiquiti.
Yeah, Ubiquiti.
Unless you're a business, which I understand you want to do other stuff, but if you're a homeowner or a small business owner, Ubiquiti all the way.
Yeah, it's pretty good for those 2 use cases. All right, so let's go back to the U.S. and talk about Comcast Xfinity plans. We talked about Rogers. Let's take a look what Xfinity is doing, and for some in the Northeast, it looks like the company announced today that it will offer 4 plans: 300, 500, 1 gig, and 2 gig across 3 different pricing tiers: an everyday price, paid per month without a price guarantee, a lower price per month, and a 1-year price guarantee, and a price per month with a 5-year price guarantee. So if you go check out the little chart here, honestly, they've got some okay prices now. It's still not low enough for me to be interested in going back to Xfinity, but they're doing a little bit better.
Yeah, honestly, the $40 a month for 300 megs, I think that's a pretty good deal. The lowest I can get with AT&T, I think it's about $50 or $60, and that's 300 megabits per second, but that's symmetrical. Is this going to be symmetrical? I don't think so, right?
They said it has unlimited data, no caps.
Yeah, about time. I mean, that should never even be a question, right? You should never have. I understand mobile in a sense, but in your home internet, you should never have a cap on your internet usage.
Yeah.
It's a physical cable. Wireless, I understand because you're moving around and maybe you're not in the same areas and stuff like that. I get that. But it's a hardwired connection. Just build it into your price.
and the speeds, they're only download, so they don't specify if they're symmetrical.
Yeah.
I think it's just the download, which sucks because usually the upload speed is something really bad. I remember when I was on Rogers, I had 1 to 1.5 gig download, but my upload was like 60 megabit.
Yeah, I'm looking at their own press release. Of course, they don't talk about what the upload speeds are. They just say downloads. So it's probably lower. We know it's not symmetrical because it's Comcast, or Xfinity, I guess. So I don't know how to score this. Canada, I guess you win with the Wi-Fi 7. I don't know.
Yeah, Canada seems to have better internet in general. So, well, I guess it probably depends on where you are.
Yeah, it depends on where you are. There's parts of Canada that they barely get internet.
All right. Well, let's talk about Ring. Ring has announced a new AI-driven feature that generates descriptions for video clips recorded by its doorbell and security cameras. Enhancement aims to improve accessibility and convenience for the company's products by providing users with the detailed notifications, like instead of saying, "Hey, there's somebody at the door," you can say, "Hey, there's somebody in a blue shirt at your door," or something like that. It gives you a little more descriptive words. One of the examples was there's a dog chewing up a newspaper on the mat or something like that. So yeah, this could actually be pretty good. They were designed, of course, for people with visual impairments, narrating the events. I think, Gavin, I want to say that you had something like this hooked up.
Yeah.
Either through, what was it, Blue Iris, or did you get it through Home Assistant?
No, it was through Home Assistant. So basically when the event happened, it would feed the image over to the local LLM, which would then create a description of it, right? It was cool. It was nice, but in the end, all I wanted to know, is there a person there? Is there a car there? I didn't care what it was doing. I didn't care, what color shirt they were doing. I didn't care about any of that stuff. I just wanted, there's a person at your front door. Done. That's all. A nice, simple description, because when I was getting those notifications, I found I had to really read them to really understand what was happening. It could just be a person walking across my driveway, but it was giving me some long-winded, notifications. So I just want to get to the point. I look at my phone, person, door, done.
Right. I there's only one thing I really kind of wish the AI stuff does. Maybe it doesn't. Haven't looked into it, because I wish that I would know when maybe it was a UPS truck or FedEx truck outside.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Amazon.
You could do that.
Can you do?
Yeah, with the LLMs, you can. No, if you tie it in through Home Assistant and stuff like that, or even you could tie it in through Blue Iris and stuff, and you can have it look for UPS trucks and stuff like that, right? Unify has package detection, which will tell you if a package is there, which is what you really want too, right?
Yeah, I have that.
I'm just afraid that. How does it work?
It makes sense that you'd want FedEx or UPS those that way, because if you're waiting on a specific package or something, you can know when it actually got delivered.
And you would know if the big giant truck pulls up in front of your house. It has a giant logo. I had the license plate turned on for my doorbell license LPR, and it read some logo on a truck that pulled up in front of the house, and it thought that was a license plate, and then I was like, well, I don't need license plate reading on my doorbell that's 150 feet away from the driveway. So, yeah, let's turn that off, and then
that's impressive.
No more false alarms like that. But I don't know, it would just be nice, and I'm kind of saying exactly what you're saying, Gavin. I don't really care that there's a person at my door, but if there's a UPS person at my door, I do kind of care a little bit more than I normally. If they haven't walked away, they're just standing there ready to tag my door with their slip and run back to their truck. I kind of want to know that there is a UPS guy there filling out a form. That specific notification I really could use. Ubiquiti, if you're listening.
And I think we're there, but we're not there. And let me explain. We're there in terms of they're claiming we can do this type of stuff with the current technology, right? But we're not there because I think the hardware is a limitation, or, there's certain limit. It's not perfect. It doesn't get it every time, right? You'll get that 1 out of 5 times, right? And I think I wouldn't trust this stuff yet until it's really reliable. I'm still fighting with my patio set triggering my cameras in my back because it thinks it's a person on Unify, right? If it can't get that right, you're looking at trying to make it identify UPS person coming. It's going to be someone in a brown jacket's going to walk up and it's going to trigger,
brown jacket with a package in their hands.
I don't think it's perfect yet, but it's close. I'm still at the point where I just want to be notified that there's somebody there. And then later on, when they perfect it, then we can get more specific like that. But I'm also afraid that this is a step that they're going in the direction of let us determine what notifications you're going to get. So right now they're probably classifying it. And then I bet you later on they announce, okay, now we're going to decide what's important, what notifications you get. And I don't want them really to do that, because what do they determine is important? Or I want to determine what's important.
Well, and here's the other side of that. It's like, I also don't want the notification as much as I want to know that a valid trigger can be made off of like the UPS guy or the FedEx guy or delivery person in general. Let's make it easy. Say it's a delivery person in general. Somebody driving a big truck that stops in front of your house that has a logo that's pretty recognizable. And like, let's just say like that. I want to know, I want to blink a light. I want to send me a text message I don't really care if it's some salesperson that's walking up trying to sell me Comcast internet for, non-symmetrical data speeds for double the price I'm paying right now.
And it's going to have to do a lot of thinking and aggregating of data from different cameras too, because, you'll eventually get to this point where I want to know if someone's stealing a package off my front door, right? How do you know it's not a delivery guy that's picking up a package that he's supposed to be taking away too, right? Like the LLM's got to get like a little smarter to be able to determine all this stuff. And I feel we're getting close to that, but we're not there yet. And eventually, I think we will get there.
Well, Ring, you hear that? You're just wasting your time. So this is Gavin doesn't.
Get better.
Gavin just says,
"Jeez, I did. You're like my wife, taking something and totally twisting it out of proportion." No, I'm just saying, like,
why are you even doing this, Ring?
I did not say that, Ring.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, Ring, you just messed up. Gavin says he only wants to know if motion and a person's there. He doesn't care. A package, motion, person. That's it. You don't need to do all this fancy stuff.
Well, yeah, in the end, that's all I care about. Package, or animal. I like the only reason I turn on the animals too is I like to see what animals come through my yard, right? Like I get some wild. I've had foxes, a family of raccoons, stuff like that. I like to see, what comes through my yard. I have a black cat that, every day comes around my yard. And one day he was walking away from my yard and it looked like he had my chipmunk. So I wasn't too happy about that. But and I also use it in my backyard cameras. When it detects an animal, it turns on the lights so that I know there's an animal out there and not to let the dog out, right? So, person, vehicle, animal, that's all I care. And I can turn off vehicle in the backyard because unless, I don't expect any vehicles to be in my backyard, but this is Canada and some people drive wild, so it happens. Yeah, there have been cars in backyard pools.
That's probably the best part of like looking through the Unify feed. Even if you don't have the animals thing turned on some of the cameras, there's the older cameras that face like other parts of the yard, and like you can scroll through and see like a bobcat walking through at night or something like that. Like it's kind of cool to see the wildlife. So I do like that.
You've had the turtle, which
the turtle,
really cool to see.
I've had some interesting creatures run through, especially right now since the grass is so high. They're just like, a forest is back here.
You want to live in here.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, well, let's move on. We talk about these Unify cameras. Ubiquiti has introduced its next generation of dome cameras, featuring significant technical updates and enhancements. So we've got three of them here. We've got the G6 180 Ultra. It's an ultra wide, basically 180 camera. We've got the G6 Dome, and we got the G6 Pro 360. So the G6 Dome is the only one that's available right now, $279. It's a 4K camera with IK10 Vandal. I don't think you should ever buy this. $279. Don't buy this. I don't know. A dome just doesn't work out. They're always dirty. They're always scratched up. I do not recommend this version of camera. I do not know why anybody would buy these anymore. It's 2025. Stop buying dome cameras.
Hard agree.
A second one is that's kind of cool, I guess, and has use cases is the G6 Pro 360. We don't know the price on it. It says Q3 2025. It's the panoramic one. It's got a 360-degree image. Usually stick them up on a ceiling, and you can kind of use it to kind of look around the room. They have like special dewarping video software that kind of makes it look like a normal camera. You can just kind of it's kind of like a fake PDZ, and those work really well in places where you can get away with having like a small pinhole sized camera up in the ceiling or something like that, or just a camera in general, and then getting like a 360 field of view of the room. So it's kind of nice. But the one I think everybody should pay attention to is not a dome camera. although they call it a dome camera, it's the G6 180 ultra wide.
Yes.
And this is cool. It's got dual 8 megapixel sensors. It's got 16 megapixels altogether, right? So 180 degree imaging. It has IR and audio accessories you can attach onto this thing. This is like the double lens camera, and it stitches the video together, and you can just see all the way from the left side of the camera all the way to the right side camera. And this is great. And it's not a dome camera. I can highly recommend this one because it's not a dome. I'm looking at the pictures right now, and the stupid thing doesn't have domes on the top of it. I have one of these cameras, and it's got these stupid domes on the top of it. I put it outside for the hurricane. Guess what happened? 2 minutes after the wind and stuff started blowing, it got dirt all over it. I couldn't see anything. It was just on, just doing nothing. So I was like, this is a useless camera. Don't buy dome cameras. Don't buy them.
Wow. You really hate your dome camera, don't you?
Yeah, what a rant.
I know. This out of all these cameras, the G6 180, I was the most interested in. Okay, so this one, again, you mentioned had dual cameras, and you can see 180 view, right? But you can mount this on a wall, or you can mount it on a ceiling, right? So it has dual mounts there. So I found that really cool. It also has some add-ons, it looks like, for lighting or for speakers or something like that too, right?
It's got an IR extender thing and a speaker thing to yell at people through it, I think.
Yeah. It's got a multi-tops AI engine. I want to know how many tops it actually has, this one looks really good. And I would put this, like, when I was thinking about some of the cameras I want to get around the house, I was worried about, like, what would I get along the side of my house? I was thinking of, like, I know you love your dome cameras, but, something like that would, cover, move around the corners or stuff like that.
Yep.
And I've seen people put multiple cameras at corners, but this, I could put this along the side of my house and get the whole side of my house.
Pretty much, yep.
And I'm like, I want to know how much this is going to cost. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be cheap, but
it's going to be at least 400 American.
But it's going to be coming in Q3. So I'm like, oh man, that's about the same time as the new iPhones. I'm gonna have to make some decisions here.
You don't need a new iPhone. You need this camera, Gavin.
It depends on when TJ comes up, because he's gonna have to run wires for me, but these, I'm excited for this one. I think I'm gonna grab one or two of these to cover the side of my house.
Yeah, honestly, these cameras are good. So I have two 180 degree cameras now. I have a UniView one and I have a Railink one. And they are great. The Railink one, where it stitches the cameras together, it's a little more obvious, because it's a little blurred, or it's not as clear as like the left and right side. The UniView does a little better job with it. So I'm interested to see how they handle that, because obviously you need software to stitch those images together, and it's going to depend on the layout of the actual cameras or the lenses themselves. So this is what Ubiquiti needs to be like a real camera company, though, because they have cameras, and like just recently they've started coming out with like what I would consider real cameras. And this is a good step along the line. Like, these are just good options that they need to have, including the 360. I mean, they needed a 360 camera. I personally don't like the 360 cameras, but that's just me. But they need it in the lineup in order for them to actually be a camera company. So
they've had one before, and they have the Theta one too, I think.
The Theta one I still don't understand, but
yeah,
I'd understand the Theta if it was outdoor. There was an outdoor version,
right?
I was going to buy one. I'm like, this would be perfect for what I wanted to do with it, and I looked at it and it said indoor only. I'm like, how can it be indoor only?
Did you guys actually click on the link and see this audio enhancer thing for the 180 degree camera?
It's got a little thing on it.
It is ridiculous. Yeah. It gives it like a little head piece. I'm not really sure.
With AI.
Yeah, and you get AI audio announcements. See, Seth, you could have just bought a $400 camera with AI audio announcements instead of your loudspeaker.
I was looking at the Railink cameras, to do the 180 on the side of my house. But the problem with that being, having Unify as my main system, you'd have to go through like the AI port to get it all in and everything like that. And that's not a good solution. Like, I know Unify added this AI port, but it downgrades the quality of these cameras for you to be able to add it, and then it kind of does some AI to upgrade it again. But it's still not as good as like the original picture, right? So if you're gonna go with the Unify, get Unify cameras, and I can see why they do that on purpose. They want you to buy their hardware. They're kind of just patching in on VIF cameras, but in the end, they want you to buy their hardware, and that's why I would probably just go and I'm going to grab maybe one or two of these.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I do. The AI port's kind of a holdover till you get Ubiquiti cameras. But you might not be able to switch until Ubiquiti releases cameras that replace your existing cameras. So it's a good placeholder. I'm honestly surprised they released the AI port anyway. So
my favorite accessory for the G6 180 is I'm looking at in the box, and it's got like a circular mount. You can use the dual mount for this thing.
Oh yeah.
So you can have
360.
You can have full 360 with this. Yeah,
360-ish. Because
I don't know how that works, but
yeah.
You can do it for $59 plus whatever this costs times 2.
You technically don't need 3 of them to get 360. I feel like.
I don't know.
So how much do you think this is going to cost?
I'd say $400, $399.
US.
Yeah,
wow.
It's going to be up there.
Yeah.
Christmas is going to be like this year for the family.
The Uniview one I bought, I think roughly MSRP is like $500. So
they've never made a camera. Let's see. They've never made a dual camera, have they?
No.
Their AI 360 is $399. So that's their G6 is probably going to be in that price range as well.
That's what I would imagine.
I hope it has some good night vision too, because I'm not going to have a light tied to this at all.
Well, I noticed that they had the full, was it the 1.18 inch sensor on these? So that should be big enough to draw into a decent amount of light and have good low light performance. Finally, Unify.
The MSRP of the Uniview camera I have is $719.
$719.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll keep my
Maybe
iPhone 15.
Maybe I'm up on my Ubiquiti price, $499 maybe. Because you're basically, I mean, you got to see it from their angle too. You're basically getting 2 cameras in one anyway. And so if you can replace 2 cameras, you'll probably pay for that. You know, it's the convenience.
Yeah, it is. This form factor is a problem solver, although not as much as you might think, because the lens doesn't see very much very far away, right? You pretty much have to be right up on it to get any detail, but it does give you a wide angle view, and if in the right spot in an appropriate situation, it will work well for you, I think.
Well, and I'm sure if you're not worried about like the physical, because most of the time you're putting these on your house or something, if you're not worried about the physical side, you can get a much physical size, you can get a much larger camera. And that way, like you could have bigger lenses in them, because that's the problem, right? Is you're fitting 2 lenses into this camera, and you need to make it like a presentable size and everything like that. So you can obviously get a better one, but it's going to cost you even more.
And it comes in multiple colors. It looks like too.
Black and white, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that they're doing that for all their cameras now.
I wish they'd just do it for their phones. It'd be nice.
If only they would just have it in stock all the time. That'd be nice.
All right, let's move on here. We got another story about smoke alarms here. Smoke alarms. Hey, since the Nest went away, what are you guys using, right?
For smoke alarms?
And,
I've always used
smoke alarms.
Right now,
First
I have
Alert.
the First Alert. Was the only Z-Wave one I ever found up here was the First Alert ones. And it works fine for me. But the other one I'm using for hardwired smoke alarms is the Zoo's add-in, and that works really well because then you can just basically use any smoke alarm. You don't need a smart smoke alarm. Just grab any smart smoke alarm. It just has to be the hardwired kind, and it can distinguish between CO2 and smoke. So that's the nice part about it too. But I'll let you get into your story.
Well, I was just going to say, Gentex, I'm sorry, Gavin says don't bother with your crap product anyway, because he's got one little Zeus device that knocks your stuff out of the park.
Yeah.
Geez, Gavin, brutal tonight.
Sorry.
All right. Gentex has a line called Place. It's got a bunch of smart features, phone notifications, night lights, motion detector, temperature and humidity sensing, all built into this thing. Air quality monitoring. Heck, you want a camera intercom? They'll throw that in too. This thing starts at $139 for the base model and goes all the way, what was it, $350 for the ones with the VOC detection, PM 2.5 air quality monitoring, white noise generator, camera with 2-way intercom. Wow. There's a garage unit priced at $299 that provides heat detection instead of smoke, because that's smart. Includes a camera and intercom. So they've got quite the range here. And if you're not Gavin and you were interested in a smart smoke, I don't even know how to call these smoke alarms anymore. Like, how can you call this a smoke alarm? It's got everything.
Where is this available? Like, is it available in the US?
Yeah, Home Depot, it looks like.
Is it? I don't think they have it, because Canada has different laws and rules up here, right?
Oh, no, we're all the same.
Well, not yet.
we used to have those.
And now we just do whatever we want.
You know, the one feature I'd love in a smoke alarm is the feature where it won't start beeping until the daytime. You know, if it's running low on battery, and it will say, oh, you know what? It's nighttime. Let me just hold off on my initial beeps. And then come like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, it says, all right, let's start beeping now. You know, I would love that.
First of all, every smart smoke detector should have two options. One of them is that the low battery, if it's going to beep, it only beeps when there's light detected. And so it needs a little lux sensor in it.
That's true.
And so if you turn the hallway light on and the smoke detector battery is low, then it beeps. I'm fine with that. Or it just sends you a notification on your phone. You know, maybe you still have the option for a physical beep just in case. But
well, that will require it being connected, but or do something like
I have the best, like the notification sound could sound like this. There.
Oh,
no. And it's set up as an emergency notification too, so it still alerts you in the middle of the night.
Like it will send out those beeps, all right, once every minute or whatever it does. But as you walk under it, it says, hey, somebody's there. Beep, 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 beep.
Right.
You know, and let me know, because trying to find that beep that happens once every 60 seconds is
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we need to
get your stuff together, smoke alarm companies. I would pay for a very expensive smart smoke alarm because a smoke detector, because I only paid like $50 each for one of mine, and the Z-Wave First Alert ones, they suck. I would not buy them.
Why do you hate them? They work for me.
Mine have all kinds of problems. I don't know if we're just like haunted or something. But like I've had 2 go defective. I've had like 3 like that just act weird with Home Assistant. So they're not good for me. But you know, I've realized at this point is that I don't need smart smoke detectors because I don't want to know if my house burns down. I just want to come home to it. But
at least have cameras. You can watch it in progress burning down. That's kind of cool, I think.
My cameras, my Ubiquiti cameras, my interior ones, they have smoke alarm sound detection.
Yeah.
And so like that's fine with me. Like they just works through that. And that like works good enough.
That's actually a good point there, because I think with the smart speakers too, the Amazon one,
Alexa
and
ones,
stuff, they listen.
You might have to pay like $10 a month for that now, though.
I think so, yeah. But yeah, you mentioned cameras. Some cameras have features where they listen in for a smoke alarm, and you can have them send you the notification too, which gets you around this. Like, do I really need a smoke alarm now? A smart smoke alarm now?
Right. Yeah, especially, I don't know this company. Is this company going to survive the 10 years that a smoke detector usually
it's not
lasts?
even going to last 10 years, I doubt. Like, don't tell me they've actually tested this 10 years.
Gentex has been around for years. They have.
Have they? I've never heard of them.
They were like first to market for something. I don't know. It's an older brand, but who knows how long their intercom, video camera, white noise. I went over to Home Depot and they're marketed a little bit differently. So they call them a nursery smoke alarm. And you know what? Not a bad idea, Gentex, because parents.
Well, that's one they have. Yeah, that's like one of their levels.
Yeah. It's a nursery. It's $350 for this thing. You put this up. You get a camera for your little baby's room. You put that up on the ceiling. You know that the baby's not on fire. You can look in there. You can see it. And then if you want to put it to sleep, you can turn on the white noise. Like, it's genius. Yeah. And $350, there's not a new parent into buying that, I'm sure. So I know we probably would.
Yeah.
Although this doesn't integrate with very much right now.
And it's got intercom, so you can yell at the baby.
Go to sleep. It says work with Amazon Alexa right now. They're working on Google Home and exploring Matter integration. A quote is here: "Our goal is to be the first smart smoke detector on Matter in the U.S." So it should be interesting there. Oh, big goal there.
That'd be interesting.
We'll see. Keep an eye on Gentex. They're going places. I guess they developed automotive technology, including the HomeLink system, which controls your garage door for your car. So there you go. They developed the first dual cell photoelectric smoke alarm in 1974, and had been selling commercial grade alarms for decades.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Nice. All right. So this might be a solid hardware project, at least. Very
nice. Well, the article here goes on to explain that there's many brands who have thrown their hat in the ring to replace the old Nest Protect. Kitty, I don't even know how to pronounce that. KIDDE. They released 2 models, partnering with Ring earlier this year. It's the hardwired smoke alarm with Ring. It's $54.97, and then another one for $74 $497. It has smart smoke and CO. And then First Alert, I think you guys mentioned them, now owned by Residio, partnered with Google. They've got a $129 First Alert smart smoke and CO detector. So this one's significantly higher than those, especially if you get all the add-ons to make sure your baby's not on fire.
Or smoking cigarettes. You don't want your baby smoking cigarettes.
Stop smoking cigarettes.
Not that young.
All right, let's move on here to something nice, right? Govee is launching lamps and
alien lamp.
Questionable taste here. The uplighter floor lamp, it's the main model, and the 3rd generation floor lamp series. I love lamp. The lamp includes a upper section that produces ripple projection effects in a mix of warm and cool tones, intended for calm and relaxing settings, I guess. It's got RGB-IC, and it's got a lower white light for white zone, and goes up to 1,000 lumens. They've got a Tortury floor lamp. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's a triple zone color control music sync designed to provide soft lighting suitable for bedrooms, players, and shared living spaces. And I think, Tia, you were telling me this is one you like. The Tree floor lamp. It features 3 adjustable light arms and a geometric design. It's basically like what would you say, track lighting with RGB ICs, I'm sure, on it.
On a stand.
On a stand. There you go. It's a tree light.
Yeah. I feel like out of all 3 lights, this is the most normal looking one. Like I could see this one in my house if I needed track lights on a stand. I do like that these ones actually have you can rotate the lights. You can zoom them in and out kind of thing and focus them. So that's pretty cool to me. And it looks like a normal light. These other 2 do not look like normal lights. Like they just look like something that you would find in some like 20-year-old's bedroom if they had $180 they could spend on a light. They are ugly.
I feel like it's like missed props off Star Trek or something.
Yeah.
The prop department got creative one day and were like, no, we can't put that in Star Trek. Let's go ahead and put that out for sale somewhere. And Govee picked it up off the side of the road.
In the pictures on Amazon, they have these in like nicer apartments. And I'm like, I don't know if that's the right target audience for this, but maybe it is. These look nicer than my house, and I would not have these in my house.
Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. No.
Like these are way too classy of places to have this, especially the uplighter floor lamp.
Yeah, if I put that in my house, my wife would be like, out. And then I'd put it in the garage, and she'd be like, no.
Like out of the house.
Yeah, it's like out into the street somewhere. Yeah, what a weird concept. The lighting effect thing is interesting.
That is kind of cool, right? I do like that little artifact effect going on. I'll give them that.
Why did they need to have the weird shade thing?
Well, the other one's actually uglier.
The one. So this looks like a giant
a torch
caterpillar or something. I don't know. It's very strange.
This one looks like it's something out of Halo. This one is worse somehow. Like at least the other one, you could be like, oh, I'm into UFOs and I believe in aliens, and that would fit in. This one, where are you going to fit this one in now?
Oh, I'm looking at the mock-up they have here of this room, and it looks like it fits right in over next to that floor plant, right in this. Why do they have the couch in front of the bookshelf? You wouldn't be able to, like, if the couch is there, you wouldn't be able to get to any of the books, right? That's really strange. I think this is AI generated, is what I'm trying to say.
No, not on the internet.
I think it is.
You can't just do that.
Oh, they've got it here in a teenager's room, which I honestly, it probably could fit into a teenager's room, maybe. I don't know. Would work.
Yeah.
It gives you like 3 different light zones that blend together. It's got 3 different lenses, 3 different lights on it, and it blends together to make it like a soft light on the ceiling or something like that. But man, what an ugly looking device.
If you buy one of these, let us know.
Tell us why.
And tell us why you bought it.
And there's 2 of them. It's the tree lamp right now, and the ugly one we were just referring to. I have $20 off right now with a coupon. So,
well, we make enough money from this podcast. I think you should buy me one.
Buy 1 or 2, yeah.
Send it over.
All right. Well, big news from SwitchBots. They are joining the Works with Home Assistant platform, right? So SwitchBot devices are now compatible. Well, some SwitchBot devices are now compatible, include smart curtains, humidifiers, and thermostats. The integration allows for automation, voice control, enhancing the user experience. TJ, you were telling me there's some kind of like fallout over this, though. Like, it's not every SwitchBot product, but just some of them.
Well, it's not that it's not every product. It is actually quite an extensive list of products. It's not every product, but there's certain things that just don't work in general in regards to like the integration, and that's kind of the point of Works with Home Assistant is that you can kind of use every feature of it. And so there's certain things like one of the commenters pointed out that you could not map to a certain or vacuum a certain room in the Works with Home Assistant integration, but you could in the SwitchBot app. And the other one is that a button is not available with the contact sensor with Works with Home Assistant, but it is with the SwitchBot app. So is it that big of a deal? Probably not. The only one that kind of stinks is the SwitchBot vacuum, where you can't mop a specific room or vacuum a specific room because that is a really good feature, right? Like we have a laundry room where we have a litter box, and for some reason the cats like to run out of it as soon as they use the restroom, and it causes litter to go everywhere. And so we have an automation that just goes and vacuums the room every third time the litter box goes off. So, there is useful use cases for that kind of stuff. So it does kind of stink to see the Works with Home Assistant not include literally everything, but I guess you got to start somewhere, right?
It says, will you be adding more SwitchBot devices to the program? And it says, answer, absolutely. SwitchBot has a quickly growing set of products lines that we're working to certify together. So
yeah, it seems like it might be easy for some of the stuff because now it does matter, right? So you get the little hub and you can bring it in with Matter. So that's always nice. But also a lot of them use Bluetooth. And so I have the only thing I have SwitchBot at this point is a door lock and curtain motors. And those all work with Bluetooth. So
it says the Bluetooth devices in the list were tested with a standard Home Assistant green hub. So there you go. I guess it goes right to that.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, a USB Bluetooth adapter. Okay, I see. I get it. They tell you how all this works. That's what a Home Assistant does, I guess.
Yeah.
Very cool. I still have the the hub, the SwitchBot hub, and then the curtain mover things. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
And they go every day, open and close, and I don't even have to think about them. It's probably we had somebody over the other day that hadn't been over to our house, and the curtains just started closing, and they're like, "What's happening here?" It's like this is something. Is there something behind your curtains? Like, well, I hope so. So, yeah, it was because it kind of just silently moves, right? Like it just kind of keeps going until it gets to the end and then it stops. But cool product. And they work with Home Assistant now. So yay. Go SwitchBot. That's going to wrap up the stories this week. All right. All the links and topics we discussed tonight can be found over on our show notes at HomeTech.fm/533. All right. Nothing in the mailbag. We do have a pick of the week, and this is kind of cool. It kind of reminds us all about mowing the lawns and stuff with our fancy robot mowers. If you have a gate, I don't have a gate, but you guys have gates. I've often wondered, how the heck am I going to get my lawnmower from this side of the gate to the other side of the gate without just leaving the gate open all the time? And someone here has figured out how to do that. They have created a automatic gate opener that will open up and let the mower back into the backyard. And I was reading through this. He's got a linear actuator and some batteries and some solar cells, and put this all together with some Fabaro smart implant, it looks like. And it opens up the gate in the morning. The mower does its thing, closes the gate after the mower should be done. So there you go. Not bad.
Yeah, this is nice, and it looks like a really nice fence as well. So this is a nice, clean solution. Whoever owns this house next is going to be like, why is this here? Why would they install this little door here? It's not like a dog door. Maybe it is a dog door.
But a weird dog.
That's the only thing I can think of, though. It is really nice, though. It looks like it's some faraway place, too, which is nice.
It is. I believe it was... it's Favara, so it's definitely over in the European market, I believe. Thought I read somewhere in here that it was in Sweden or Finland or something. I don't know.
It's got a solar panel to power everything, which is nice too.
Yeah, it's actually a really good solution. I've seen solutions where they just had a swinging hinge cut out where the lawnmower would just push its way through, which also works too. You can program the Navimos to just push their way through, but it also allows animals to just push their way through as well if they wanted to. But yeah, this one's a nice automated one. I don't think it opens when the lawnmower comes up to it. I think they just have it timed so it opens up in the morning. The lawnmower does its thing, and then it closes later on.
Yeah, it's just open and close at specific times, I guess.
Yeah. But nice solution to a problem we have with lawnmowers and gates.
It's Norway.
Yeah.
Provides, in one of the comments, he provided all the links to all the products. Fabaro smart implant, solar panel plus battery plus charger, some dual pole, dual throw relays, a linear actuator, and everything there runs on 12 volts. So it's a completely off the grid, open and closed gate system. Kind of cool.
And when I first saw Mower Gate, I thought it was like some
drama. Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. Like Mower Gate. Oh no, is this a Reddit problem? And no, it's a Reddit problem.
It's a Reddit solution. This is actually a pretty cool solution here. So, pick of the week. There you go. All right. If you have any feedback, questions, ideas for the show, or picks of the week, give us a shout. Our email address is feedback@HomeTech.fm, or you can head on over to HomeTech.fm/feedback and fill out the online form. All right. Project updates. I'll go first. I didn't do anything, but I was mowing, and my grass is really, really high now because I haven't been able to mow the back. What do you call it? The hill in a while, and it's really tall. So I went on Facebook Marketplace, and there was somebody selling a one of those electric lawnmowers that has the same battery as the blower that I have, and I'm like, I'm just gonna buy this from this guy right now. And I ran over to his house, and I bought it, and I came back, and I mowed 30 feet, and it died. I'm like, all right, good, and then I called it a day. So. That's all I did. Put it on the charger, got on Amazon, ordered another battery, and we'll try it later. So
batteries are expensive.
Yep.
Always are.
Yeah. The tool's cheap, but the battery's expensive.
Yeah. I think it lasted for a pretty good charge. It just wasn't the grass is very high. Let's just say the grass is extremely high. I would say at this point it's probably 4 or 5 feet high. This area, and it's definitely not what the lawnmower was designed to be cutting. The other parts, like where the grass is low and it has not grown into being obscenely high, it handled it perfectly. I mean, it's a nice little. It's not quiet because it's electric, and it still makes that fan sound or whatever. It's a little louder than I thought, but it's not noisy and whatever. And I don't have to worry about the stupid carburetor blocking up from some random bad gasoline that I have stored in the shed since, who knows when. So I'm happy to be kind of all off the gas right now and tossing the old lawnmower down by the road next trash day. Should be nice.
How does it get 4 feet high? You ain't cutting a lawn at that point. You're cutting down a forest.
I don't know. I could send you a picture. It's kind of like, those fields you see where they're like the grain just waves back and forth in the wind. That's what it looks like. It's pretty. I mean, if you're looking at it, but it's just what happens when it rains here and you don't mow the lawn every day. It's honestly
you have 2 robot lawnmowers. What are you doing?
They won't go they won't go down the hill. They'll get stuck. They're getting stuck. I couldn't get them started. So I've got to chop it down real low and then clean it up back there, and then see if the big one can handle it. Now that the grass is lower, I've noticed that the both of them now will if the grass is too tall, they're like, not going near that, and they'll just turn around and walk away. Oh. And there were a couple of spots that I had to go weed eat in the middle of the yard that weren't getting mowed. I'm like, what the heck? Just mow over them.
Yeah, they do that. That even happened in my yard. We had a fence going up, so it was a few weeks in between cuts. And it actually looked at a spot in my lawn and said, "Nah, I'm not going over that. So,
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good." So I kind of just went with the weed eater, just cut it down a bit, and then it went and started doing its thing again.
Yeah,
they're a little picky about that, but
you guys need to tell your robots what to do. I just say, "Hey, go mow my stuff." My robot's like, "You got it."
Yeah, well, you have pretty grass, I guess, not 5 foot tall grass because it just one time it tried to go through it and it got stuck, and it was like, "Well, I'll try and get out." And it can't. So it just kind of wiggles its way down and it just walks its way down to the ditch and then falls in. So that's already happened once or twice. So I gave up on that until I can get the back cut. So just got to do it. Just got to get out there and do it now.
Yeah. When I bought the house, I went to an electric weed whacker and a leaf blower.
Yeah.
And I've loved those so far. I think my neighbor doesn't think I like them. He's like, he came over and he's like, "Don't you wish you had something a little more powerful or something?" He brings out this gas powered one. And I was like, no, because I can weed whack at 7 o'clock in the morning and nobody has any idea, minus the whacking of the grass, that's a little loud. So I probably wouldn't do that at 7 o'clock in the morning, but I don't have to deal with the motor. I don't have to deal with starting it. I just pull the trigger And I only have one battery because that's really all I need. I probably buy another one like next year or something. But one battery gets me most of my day.
I've had the electric. I've had probably the same tool set for about a year now and been extremely happy with it. I think it's EGO, the green one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been very happy with the performance and everything on it. Like the weed eater will get all the way around the lawn, usually no problem. And then if I hook the blower up, I'll get like 5 minutes of blowing out of it. And then it's like, nope, I'm done. And so you got to go charge it and come back and blow the rest of it later. But yeah, the lawnmower did a pretty good job, I thought. I mean, considering the grass is so high, had to raise the deck all the way up and just kind of like push it in. You press a thumb button and it'll actually push itself. So it's kind of nice. It's like a walk.
Yeah.
My other lawnmower had that too, the walk behind or whatever. But like, I don't know. It's a different beast because it's all electric. So I guess like I don't want to use that because like you're wasting electricity that could be going to the blades and cutting the grass. So
you go like 0 to 60 in your lawnmower in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Whoa. Too fast lawnmower.
Slow
Too
down,
fast,
buddy. Yep. But no, so far so good for my used lawnmower from Facebook Marketplace that I just randomly picked up. So I charge the battery and I'm gonna order another one on Amazon and get it in. There's off brands. I wonder how well they work. We'll see because I don't care for $100 versus whatever the $200 or $300 the name brand costs. I'll go for that maybe once or twice. Anyway, Gavin, you did something. What you up to?
Oh, yeah. Well, just continuing on your lawnmower talk here. So I finally, graduated to like mapping out the front of my yards. So up to now, I only had the backyard really mapped out, and it was just taking care of the grass, and it's looking really good back there. I really like what it's been doing. So I finally mapped out the front one this week, and I'm nervous because I have a big hill on the side. It's a pretty steep hill, and I've been watching it, and it kind of struggles at some points, but then it kind of backs up, then goes around, and then tries again, and eventually it makes its way up. So I've programmed that one so it only cuts in a certain direction. That way it won't get stuck on the hill like I think it would, but we'll see how that goes. But for the most part, my neighbors give me one of two looks. Usually it's like, is this guy crazy or I am so jealous? Usually the jealous ones are the ones though, and they have their wife out there too, like, hey, honey, we need to get one of those. Right?
You're like, yeah, how much does that cost? Never mind.
And she gives him the are you crazy look, and that's how it works, right? But today I sent it out to do the side of my house, and then I went and sat down with my neighbor, and he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm cutting the lawn. He's like, no, you're not. You're sitting here. I showed him my phone, and he was like, oh my God. So first he gave me the are you crazy look, and then he gave me the, hey, can you program it for my lawn too? Look, and I'm like, nope.
If you subscribe to gas, I got you.
Yeah. But no, it's nice. I've always hesitated doing this up until now because I tried a few times. I kept messing up the maps. Right. And I know when you move the antenna, you have to redo all the maps, and that's a bit of work. Right. So I finally, now that I have everything settled down and everything going, I've programmed it all out, and I'm thinking of a little design. I have a nice piece of grass that's like it's a long piece. I could put a little word in it or something, and it faces like my neighbor's house. So I'm thinking of what I could put there, so my neighbors see it. They'll get a good kick out of it. It's great. Finally got that done. One less thing. The thing is, I still have to go around with the weed whacker and do the edges and stuff. And I'm fine with that because I could just trigger it. And then, while it's going, I just go around and cut all the edges, and then it will do its thing. So I'm fine with that. I do have a gate. I wish I had some kind of automatic gate solution like we were talking about.
Yeah.
But all I do is, if I'm going to be cutting the front, I just open the gate and let it go through. You can also program it as like what do they call it? Like almost like a drop zone, where it's like, if you're going to cut those, it will notify you that you have to pick up the lawnmower, take it there, put it down on that, and it will do its thing and then notify you when it's done. I just didn't want to mess up my map to try that out because those maps can be finicky.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But, for now it's working good. It's cutting away. It's living the good life. I treat it well. I washed it down, wiped it off today, gave it a drink, we're all good. So, that's one thing I've been playing around with. Second thing, I just want to give an update on these Innovelli switches. So again, last week we talked about the millimeter wave, Z-Wave Innovelli switches. And I kind of had them. They were new for a week. I was playing with them. I really liked them. I still really like them. So the one concern I had was, how are they gonna do the whole millimeter wave zoning thing, right? And I finally got used to how they did it. So basically, you specify in centimeters how far left, how far right, how far forward, etc. Almost like a box, right? And then that's how you define your zone. And I'm like, this kind of works. And you can even go up and down. So I set all that up, and it was really good. And the only thing that was happening, I was getting some ghosts. So like middle of the night, I have one in my bathroom, master bathroom. It would just turn on, right? I slept through it, but the wife would kick me every time it came on. The light's coming on again, right? But that's the life, she signed up for, living with a smart home guy, This is what you signed up for. You got to realize this is what's going to happen. But I think I'm able to fix it just by adjusting the vertical scanning. So it's almost like it was picking up something on the ground maybe it was the vent. So I adjusted, like the height off the ground, and now I'm not getting that. So they're working great, better than as I said, I'm excited for these things to come out. I have a few more. I've ordered a couple. I'm still waiting on them, but I have a few more places I'm going to be throwing them in. Great devices, great, just working. And other things I've just been doing this week, a lot of vibe coding. So
Here we go.
I am not a developer. I can code. I know many different languages. I'm not a master of any of them.
YAML. I mean, that's the hardest one. So
that's not even a language to me. That's just a format.
You can probably do COBOL right? Too. At this point.
No, that was many years ago. I think I studied that in high school or something like that. With Turing, my first language was Turing. I think in Visual Basic. I think in assembly way back then. Anyways. That was a long time ago, another Gavin. But this week I've been doing a lot of vibe coding, and that's a term that I guess came up recently. I think it's, it refers to, coding with AI. So,
Well, more specifically, it's you give AI some instructions and you literally do not care what it does. That's the idea is that,
okay.
The idea is that nothing... Like you tell it to do something. If it messed up, you say, "Hey, you messed that up," and you don't care what the code looks like. You don't care anything about it. So
yeah, I've been giving this a try because I saw a lot of people talking about this. So I've written a number of Dockers and stuff using this method. Almost like I did get a little bit more in depth. Like I would say, can you rewrite this function, or let's do a code review. And it's really cool doing code reviews of your code. And I know we're like a home tech show and I'm talking about programming, but this opens up, the reason why I bring this up is this opens up so many possibilities for your home automation, right? When you can write a Docker to do certain things and interact it with your home assistant, it opens up a whole bunch of things for you if you ever wanted to take it to the next level, and the whole vibe coding just, it allows anybody with basic coding skills to be able to throw together scripts or, not just automations, but scripts or, programs that you can run in Dockers that do things for you, et cetera, et cetera. So, if you're not a coder, but you always like to take it to the next level, check out vibe coding. I hate saying that too. I don't know why I hate saying it.
It's kind of like a used and abused thing.
Yeah, it's like a buzzword. Yeah. It's like the new buzzword, But check out using an AI to help you code. There you go. Like GitHub, what do they call it? GitHub Copilot. It's built into Visual Studio Code. Get familiar with it.
Maybe I'll use that to make me a dashboard.
Yeah, I've seen people do that. You can get it and it will spit out either the YAML or it can spit out Jinja for you and all that type of stuff to do your dashboards for you.
I don't even know what Jinja is.
But with the latest version of Home Assistant that will be coming out, well, by the time Seth releases the show, it came out 3 days ago. They updated the latest dashboards, and I think you will like them. Some of the updates they added to the latest area dashboards that automate a lot of dashboard creation. So
interesting.
We didn't talk about it on the show, but we'll talk about it on the next show.
All right.
And that pretty much sums up my projects. I mean, TJ, it looks like you didn't do much this week. You were just slacking off, I see.
Yeah, I basically did nothing. The only thing I'm working on is we're preparing to install a sunshade sail in the backyard, and so this weekend I had to get 14-foot long 6x6s delivered. And they're going to come install that on Thursday. I'm going to install the sunshade sail, but I paid somebody to dig the holes and put the post into the ground, so I don't have to deal with that. So they're coming to do that Thursday, so that'd be nice. Then I can hang outside on the 4th of July this week, because typically we cannot use our yard because it's just in full sun all day, and it's just miserable. There's no shade back there, and I've been collecting outdoor furniture from people's trash. So we work in a lot of rich neighborhoods, and rich people are always getting rid of something, and we've found a couple pieces of furniture that were pretty nice. So working on getting those. That'll be nice to have a spot to actually sit in those in. So
it is amazing what rich people sometimes throw out. They'll have like a cut in a cushion, and I'll be like, I'll throw out this whole set. I don't like that cut. Whereas we're like, I'll just fix that cushion.
Yeah. And like one of the things I got, it's an outdoor thing and it's got a little bit of mold on it, but I'm going to scrub it off there and clean it up because, outdoor furniture is expensive if you're buying it during the season. You can always find off-season sales, but even then it's $300 or $400 for like a basic like chair setup or something. So for something that's just going to live outside in the Ohio weather, because I don't have anywhere to keep these things in the off season, they can be free things from the trash. So I'll post pictures of the sunshade sail install whenever it's done. It's going to be a big one. It's 24 by 16, so it's going to take up like basically half of our yard, which will be nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've looked at those. I don't know. I kind of need something in my backyard to kind of block some sun every now and then because the sun sets on that side. It's bright in the afternoon, but like it's unlivable to do anything on the back porch in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So I've looked at those before, and I see them popping up around the neighborhood, and the look is kind of cool. So yeah, let me know how it goes.
Yeah, honestly, and it's one of those things I could do it cheaper myself if I did everything myself, but altogether, like with the sunshade sale and the labor and the post and everything like that, it's like $1,000. And so I looked in getting like a gazebo or a pergola or something like that, but then it was $2,000 to $4,000, and I needed a permit with the city. And because this is not a structure, I guess, I don't know why it's not a structure, probably because like the posts don't touch each other or something. It is not considered a structure, and it does not need a permit. So even better.
I think it's about the same here, even though I don't know. I feel like something like that, if it got loose at a hurricane, could do some damage if you weren't paying attention.
Yeah. Well, yeah, these ones have to be buried. The posts have to be buried 4 foot deep here. The frost line is like 32, but by the time you add the height and everything like that, so it'll give me 10 foot above the ground for the sunshade sail. I did buy a reinforced sunshade sail, so it's got like actually like a metal guide wire around it, and then instead of having like the fabric endpoints where it connects to the post or whatever, it's actually got metal as well. So hopefully it can stand a little bit of windstorm because I don't want to take it down. But I have to take it down like the winter and stuff like that if I want it to last a long time. So, but yeah, I'll figure that part out because it's huge. It's 24 by 16 foot, so it's quite enormous.
Should be nice. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is that all you're doing? It sounds like you guys are actually doing stuff. I'm attempting to mow my lawn and like not successful. So yeah.
Yeah, that's all I've got now. I'm sure I'll have something the next couple of weeks.
And if you mow your lawn more often, it's pretty easy. You don't get into these situations.
Yeah, well, right? I technically was waiting when I could use the lawnmower, the robot, to go do it and force it to try and keep up. And it didn't because the grass wasn't grown back, right? And it would get stuck in the sand. Now the grass has grown back, but,
Have you upgraded the wheels on it yet?
I'm not.
You need the spiky wheels.
Yeah, you should try getting those spiky wheels.
I watch it
help you
get stuck out there on tall grass and dig itself into a hole and then try and get out. And I don't know if the spiky wheels are a good thing. The sand is so loose between. It's just not really packed in there, and with the grass kind of in the condition that it's in, especially on that hill, it's until it really starts growing and greening out and all the vegetation starts coming back, there's really nothing for it to grab onto with the wheels. So Yeah. Anyway, we'll figure it out. I've got the what's nice about the Ego lawnmowers is they literally are designed to like fold up. I know my other one was, but like this one I can fold it up and like lean it against the garage or up against the wall. Like it tucks up out of the way like instantly.
Like it's actually meant to instead of like just being like a side feature.
Right. Am I going to dump the gasoline and oil all over the ground if I do this?
Right.
But yeah, it just folds right up. It makes it goes right into a nice little corner, and I don't have to worry about it. So, I'm really loving that feature of it. So, yeah, electricity. I think that's going to wrap everything up this week, though. We do want to give a big thank you to everyone listening to the show tonight. But we want to give a special thank you to those who are able to financially support the show through our Patreon page. If you don't know about the Patreon page, head on over to HomeTech.fm/support to learn how you can support the podcast here for as little as $1 a month. Any pledge over $5 a month gets you a big shout out here on the show, but every pledge gets you an invite over to our private Slack chat, The Hub, where you and other patrons of the show can gather each week. And I don't know, what are you guys talking about in there today? I've been so busy with the website launch, I have not paid attention to very much.
Ugly lights.
We're just talking smack about you all the time.
Oh, dang it. Why are you guys talking about me so much?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we got to give a big shout out to a friend of the show, Robert Spivak. I'll put the link to his video podcast. I don't know what he does. Videos on YouTube's.
Yep.
That's he's got the Apple TV. How to hook up the Apple TV with tvOS 26 up to some real speakers. I think is what it looks like. So that's pretty cool.
Well, the AirPlay speakers, right? Because we talked about last time we talked about being able to permanently group your Apple TV to an AirPlay speaker. So if you wanted to use a wireless speaker instead of having to have it hardwired somewhere, you could. They made a nice little video on how to do that.
Yeah, we'll put that in the show notes. Check it out. Robert's a nice guy, and like he has these really informative videos on YouTube as well. So we'll link to that in our show notes here. But
I think my favorite post in the Slack channel was the magical fireplace.
Oh yeah, that should be a pick of the week actually. Next week.
Just to sum it up, they put a slab.
Oh no, we can no, come on, guys, we cannot go there. Jeez,
we're gonna get delisted.
Okay, there's a slab that they put behind a fireplace that looks like a specific body part. And the person was asking what they should do.
The comments were the best. Like the first comment was like, "I should call her."
Yeah. Everything reminds me of
everything
her.
reminds me.
I don't know if these are AI or not, but I see this happen a lot. So I assume it's a real issue.
You would think that it wouldn't be, like you would think that these slab companies would know, like, hey, we don't cut the grain right here and put it together in just this shape.
Yeah,
let's say, because it's going to make that shape every time. Yeah, right.
This is what you asked for. Everybody's doing this season.
Oh man. Well, it was funny because the guy was like, I don't know if it's real again or not, but the comment you could walk through and find some of the comments. He's like, okay, so I'm not losing my mind. Everybody's seeing the same thing I'm seeing too. It's like, oh yeah, we're seeing it. How could you miss it? It's like 20 feet tall on your wall there. So anyway, yeah, we can't put we're not gonna put that in the show notes, guys. Come on. It's not the pick of the week.
Not yet.
To get that, you got to be a patron. Head on over to the Slack chat and you can look at questionable work from contractors. I don't know. It could be the best thing you've ever had in your house, or it could be the worst. Who knows? Depends on the person.
It's true.
It's still gone wild material right there, I think. All right. You got to put a TV there too, right? So.
Oh man, you're gonna ruin it. You have to get a small TV. Just in the upper corner.
See, if you're not in the Slack channel, this is what you miss out on.
That's right. And you can join the Slack channel for only $1 a month.
Exactly. Thanks for wrapping that up, DJ. Any pledge over $5 a month gets you a big shout out here on the show. But every pledge gets you an invite over there to the Slack chat. So please do that. If you can't support financially, we totally understand. Just appreciate a 5-star review or positive rating in the podcast app of your choice. That's going to wrap up this week on Home Tech. Everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.
Till next time.
Take care.
I mean, I'm even down. You give us $10 a month, and we'll just put whatever image you want on the show notes. I feel like we should sell that. We'll link any one image you want for $10 each time. Can be truly
3
not
weeks.
safe for work.
It's like 3 weeks later, and then
stuff.
the podcast. So we're just extremely sorry for the episode that we released last week.
It can't be truly not safe for work. It'll just be indirectly not safe for work. Like if it can get Gavin in trouble, then it's not good.
We know Gavin gets away with everything. It's not a good.
Well, that's true. He does have the keys to the kingdom. So
What do you mean I get away with everything?
we hear about all the stuff you do.
Yeah,
Gavin.
come on, Gavin.
I don't cause any
We're
trouble.
all friends here.
I don't cause any trouble. What do you mean I get away with everything?
Bypassing firewalls and using illegal browsers at work.
That's right.
I
Uploading personal files to ChatGPT.
Yeah, but you're vibe coding with their ChatGPT account, aren't you?
No, I pay for my own ChatGPT. They give me Copilot at work,
Yeah.
but I can't use it outside of work.
Yeah, that's lame.
Yeah, sucks.